Well, welcome to this episode of Sooner Legends Podcast. I'm your host, Mike the Legend, and with me is the often imitated and never duplicated Michael Boganowski Sr., father of Michael Boganowski Jr., current freshman on the OU Sooners defense. Mike is so cool he can give you change for an ice cube, brother.
Uh,
Mike, how we doing today, my man?
Man, I'm doing okay, considering the circumstances. But yeah, just rolling with the punches, man. That's all it is, just rolling with the punches.
Yeah, I think yesterday's firing should come as no shock to Sooner Nation for the simple fact that it was coming. So, do I think it was right? Yes. I mean, I don't want people to think that I don't feel bad for Seth. I mean, I followed Seth when he was at OU as a player. I followed his daddy as a player in the 70s. I love Seth. He's OU DNA through and through. But when you look at that, when you look at that offensive production that we've been seeing for a while, Mike, the writing was on the wall.
Yeah, yeah. It a lot of digression, a
Hmm.
lot of moving backwards.
Yeah, yeah. So let me ask you, Mike. Bishop's coming with us, and here is the official chaplain of Sooner Legends podcast, Bishop Frank. His mic is muted, but he will be on. There he is. Hello, Bishop.
What's good,
What's happening? What's happening?
man? Boy, I feel like a brand new man. We got a new release on life.
Yeah, and I'll
Woo!
tell you what, chat. The way I said Mike Boganowski Sr. was so cool he could give you change for an ice cube. Bishop Frank is as cool as the other side of the pillow, according to
All right,
Stu.
all right, all right.
But as I was saying earlier, I mean, I have no ill will against Seth at all. But like you said, Mike, we were regressing backwards instead of going forwards.
Yep.
And as let's see, you got your son Mike Jr. plays for OU. If
Yeah.
you're BV right now, are you still recruiting the players that you have coming in for the 2025 class?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That don't stop.
Yeah,
You're recruiting you're recruiting the 25. You're recruiting 26. You're recruiting 27, and you're recruiting the players that are on your roster right now.
yeah.
Recruiting everybody.
And Jay gave us some good news from Unfair Sports earlier today that the quarterback out of California,
Yeah,
he's still locked in with the Sooners
that's right.
for 26.
And he was going
So
through the
that
theft. So,
that
so
yeah.
that's beautiful.
So yeah, Bishop and Mike, I want to assume that Saturday after the game,
Mhm.
I'm just assuming this, and I just got this feeling. And Bishop Frank and I have talked about this over the phone.
Mhm.
I feel that Josie and the Board of Regents had a meeting with Brent Saturday right after the game.
I would agree.
I just heard. I just
If
heard.
not that right after the game Sunday,
Yeah. I
some
just
way
heard
they
about
touch base.
Yeah, yeah, and so and this is I have all the faith in the world in BV. He's my guy. I mean, I'm bought in just the same way Mike Boganowski Jr. is. The whole team. I am bought in with BV. I
Right,
think I will never get off of his bandwagon. But with
right.
that being, but I think, and I prayed about this, that the next up and coming OC will be an outside hire, somebody who has never had any dealings with the program and has as Mike said it, uh, uh, dang it, I lost my train of thought. Sorry, guys, I'm getting old.
You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. Take your time.
Sorry about that, guys.
Gumbo
But
takes it. It takes it slow. Take it nice and easy.
but I'm still bought in with BV. But the
Yeah,
next,
Yeah. Yeah.
but the next OC, I feel, um, has to be somebody outside of the program with a new set of eyes, with a new terminology, with a lot better schemes than what I've seen.
yeah, it's got to happen. There needs to be a shakeup. There needs to be a different way of going after, getting after practicing technique, play calling,
Yeah.
learning. There's a whole new. It needs a good shakeup with some new ideas and new ways of thinking.
Yeah. And
gonna
I
give
would, I'm always talking about those fire tests. We
Yeah.
just went through a major fire test. So the best thing is since we've gone to a new level and we're in the SEC, we realize that you cannot skimp on the standard. It
Mm-mm.
has to keep the same standard. So with that, we're in the right direction.
Yeah, I'll agree with that, and I have all the faith and trust in the world that this next hire that we hire OC, that Brent will he'll make the right decisions.
Right.
I'm going to give a shout out to the people in the chat so far. We have Chicken. We have the First Lady, Kimberly K. We have my buddy Comanche Sooner. We got the ever famous dapper young man Trap House booming in the chat. What's up, Trap House? Good to see you,
House.
Trap House. Love me some Trap. I tell you what, if there's a man alive that is better than Trap at wordplay, I have not seen it.
Big salute, big fella.
That's hilarious.
I still use Trap's play on words when OU ain't playing good. They need to pull their hat out of their 3 points of contact and quit stepping on the Richards.
Well, I tell you what, I think for
Hello,
the
Steve
most
G.
part that we are rejuvenated. We now can move forward. These young men should be. We're all behind them. So if
Yep.
any of them watch this, we're behind you. Now it's
Yep.
time to go to work and just put
Yeah,
in
it's time to go to work.
go back in the lab and do your thing because we're full speed ahead. We got you.
Exactly.
Boys,
And Comanche Sooner, I'm fixing to give a list.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
I'm fixing to give a list of potential OCs and how do you pronounce his last word? His last name at Penn State. Kotelnicki. Yeah, and he made my list. But anyway, I looked at that game. I'm going to Mike. I promise you, we're not going to beat a dead horse because it's been cherry picked. But there's something I've got to get off of my chest that I witnessed. There's something that just grinded my gears Saturday. Why in the cornbread hell do you want to play a 200 or block a 230-pound freaking tight end on a 300-pound defensive end? Makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's mind blowing.
That was my
Yeah. I mean,
hello, Jimmy Satterfield.
It's an obvious observation brought to light and brought to the public by the great Teddy Lehman and Gabe Eichert on the Oklahoma Breakdown. And that usually doesn't work out well, man. You gotta double team, you gotta chip, you gotta slow him down. You
Yeah.
gotta throw a little swing pass over his head, invite him upfield, hit him with a little draw in that gap,
Yeah.
some screens. Like you got to do something to slow him down. You got to make him
Yeah.
pay for being so aggressive, and we didn't do none of that.
Yeah.
And
But the
and
thing
Yeah,
boys,
about
I
it is,
don't
yeah. Go
I
ahead.
don't want to be Debbie Downer.
no,
Me either. I
But
really don't.
but
no.
this offensive, the firing of Seth Littrell and Joe Johns being offensive coordinator and Johns the co-OC, I don't really know how much it's going to change anything.
Me
You know what I
either.
mean? I hope it's a shakeup. Uh, I hope stuff changes and like pray to God. Like I hope stuff changes, but I just don't. I don't know how you make huge changes and strides um moving forward. And
Yeah, and
sorry,
I said that on
I brought us back
I,
down, but yeah.
I said that on Jason's show this morning. Uh, this firing, yeah, it's a band-aid, but it's not the magic bullet that's going to get us through the season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Well,
Wow.
just understand,
that's the way I'm looking at it.
right. The thing is, it's not a magic bullet, but at least we're one step closer. Because understand, you cannot lose at home 35-9.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. So something had to give. But
No,
understand,
no.
uh, I'm hoping, and let me say it right. I'm praying that Joe John can actually formulate 6 to 7 plays that allows us to script something so that we can have success.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Keep it simple.
I
You know,
I don't
I brought
I
it up
don't have
last week.
no.
Kiss.
Yeah, go
Keep
ahead,
it
Mike.
simple.
Yep.
Keep it simple,
Yeah,
stupid.
keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Famous Army acronym. You're doing too much, bro.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Dalpolis right now, we got to stick with Jackson now. I mean, we can't be playing musical quarterbacks like musical chairs all season long. We got to stick with JA now. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah. There was a question up there earlier that I wanted to got buried. Where was that?
Let's see.
Oh, here, it was from Chicken. Um, it's
The timid players.
yeah. I think that's a great question, Chicken. I think that I don't know if it's a direct correlation to coaching leadership, but there's a direct correlation to coaching, right? I don't know about leadership, but when you got timid players and they're unsure what they're doing, right? That means you're probably putting too much on their plate. And
Facts.
I know when we struggled defensively in college, we dialed back some of the exotic blitzes and all the BS that we had, right? And we stuck
Yeah.
more with our base packages and our main blitzes. That way you can be sure your reads, play fast, and play aggressive. I think
Exactly.
timid players is more of a correlation to unsure and too many plays.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think there's bad leadership from the coaches. I think the coaching leadership is fine.
Right.
They just need to hone in on some of their their coaching techniques and the playbook. You know,
Mm-hmm.
bring it in,
I
Right.
bring it in, and concentrate on your core. Like what are we trying to do at Oklahoma? Are we trying to run the ball and play defense, or
Right.
are we trying to get into a shootout and we ain't worried about defense? We're trying to score 50. Like, what is our identity? Like, what do we want to be as a football team? And I think that's what we need to figure out
Right.
in these next few games and moving on into 2025. Because if you don't have an identity, man, you ain't got anything. Like we want to be physical, or
yeah.
we want to be a finesse team. Are we trying to beat people up or shake people and get to the corners on people. It that remains to be seen, but you got to create some kind of identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
definitely. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
No, go ahead, Bishop. I interrupted
No,
you,
what I was
sir.
gonna say is that if anything, the young man, you're ambassadors, and whenever they do a scouting report or breakdown film, you are accountable to make sure that you do all you can to be able to play fast by knowing and seeing trends and being able to spot things and stay on the fundamentals, making sure that the
Mm-hmm.
fundamentals are strong. Because what the fundamentals allow you to do, along with you watching film and breaking down film, is allowing you to play fast, to recognize certain sets and being knowing what scenario needs to go with that set, and that allows
Mm-hmm.
you to be effective and efficient.
And I've heard Jason talk about this a bunch because he was a sports writer at Texas Tech. Mike Leach, as difficult as his air raid offense looked, he had an index card with 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 plays on it that he would
Yeah.
design plays off of. He didn't have
Mhm.
a big thick binder.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you know, I
Hey,
just,
Shotty.
I just can't.
Right.
I don't understand. You know, I just don't understand what I see out there on the football field. Right? It seems like
Yeah.
every week we have a whole new binder of plays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And successful plays aren't being ran again. Successful pass plays aren't. You know, we're not
Right.
running them again. Like I don't know. I just don't get it. And you know, maybe it's not for me to get, but man, I sure would like to see some successful plays ran more than once. Because I mean, you see it a lot. You see it a lot in college football. They're going to come back to a play. I'm not saying you got to
Yeah.
run a play 5, 6 times, but hey, put that over here in the at 3rd and 15. That worked last time. I need it, or you know, it's 4th and 5. We need this. Like you know, they got those plays where we're on the goal line. It's 4th and goal, and we need
Yeah.
a touchdown. You know, I guess the one play that we have ran that's worked and it got called back once, though, was a little Javante Barnes out in the flat off play action, you know, where he lobbed it over his head,
Yeah.
scored.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, other than that, man, I can't think of too many plays that we see consistently.
And if I can
Yeah.
share with the
I'm going to
offensive
answer
lineman,
Kim Hurst.
oh, go
Yeah.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bishop.
No, what
I'm
I was
just
going
going
to
to
say,
answer his question.
uh, any offensive lineman, big on big, inside, outside. And if you're double
Mm-hmm.
teaming, if you're the big, if you with a tight end, you stay with the big on big, and let the tight end release for the flats. It should never
Yeah.
ever be small on big. Never. There's never been a rule for small on big. So it's
Right.
paying attention to the details and not
Mm-hmm.
letting anything slip is all I just would encourage that's what's key to winning the big plays is being able to be fundamentally sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
And I was just going to answer Kim's question. Kim Hurst. He's a member of a Hall of Fame media and a
Okay.
good friend of mine. I said, "How long will it take to see another coaching change?" I'll say until you're not going to see nothing until the end of the season. I think we're going to stick with what we got right now. You got to. I mean, as bad or ugly as it may look in the weeks to come, I agree with what Mike said earlier today. Joe John might be that different set of eyes, the different verbiage, you know, I'm not going to call it an X factor by any means, but he might be that to give us a little oomph to get us through the end of the season. What
We'll
you
see,
think,
man.
guys?
We'll see.
Yeah, yeah,
I hope for the best. Like, trust me. Like, I don't want to be doom and gloom, but man, we're really stepping on our Richard a lot. You know, and And man, dude, you know what's crazy is I see the same BS with my son's varsity team on Fridays in Junction City. Man, we just love shooting ourselves in the foot. We love turning the ball over, and
Yeah,
God, we love the penalties. We love to run our mouth and get personal fouls when we do something good. And I just cannot understand how these kids haven't learned. But man, seeing that shit on Saturday or Friday and Saturday, whew, man, I'm telling you, this
yeah.
football season, it's a test. It's testing me.
No doubt. Oh man.
Testing me, man. Like this is crazy. This is crazy. Stephen G, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. We can week 7, we can install a new scheme. And
No.
to be honest with you, I feel like we've been installing a new scheme every week. I feel like there's a whole brand new play, and that hasn't worked.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't think we can, man. I
No.
don't know if that is something that is even plausible and realistic. Like we don't need to scheme. Our new scheme needs to be find some core plays and stick to something that we're good at. Are we going to be a
Yeah,
power run team? Are we going to be zone? Are we going to be read RPO? I think we can all say that the RPO has been a bust at this point. So maybe throw that out the window. Let's find something else. You know what I mean? We just got to. That's why they get paid a lot of money to figure these things
yeah,
out. And hopefully, we can narrow it down. We can
yeah.
narrow it down.
Like I said, I know I'm a fandom, and I know I've been a defensive coordinator. I would find me about 7 to 10 scripted plays that I feel that we can run and run effectively, and run with that, and just have variations like pass off of that, or different things that allow the fellows to get a groove. Because right now we're too irky and jerky, and it's just not flowing. And key is to just keep getting first downs so you can matriculate down the field.
Yeah, it's Comanche Sooner. Everyone on the offense is coaching for their next job because whoever BV hires is more than likely going to clean house. I don't know if that's I could see. I mean, that does happen, but I don't know if that is going to apply. And I like to point to the Alabama, you know, offensive coaching staff. They pretty much brought in OC after OC and successful and moved on. So hopefully, I think there's good
Right.
offensive coaches, and I think Emmett Jones doesn't need to go anywhere. I don't
No.
think Bill Beatonbow needs to go anywhere. I don't think DeMarco Murray needs to go anywhere. So I mean, I think there's stability there, and I don't necessarily think that you need to clean house. Um, and not necessarily the new OC is going to decide who
Yeah.
stays. Like that could be it's like BV can put that out on the table. Like, hey man, like I know you want to come here and you bring your guys, but this, and that, they're staying. So consider that when you're considering this job. And
Yeah.
I think that that's a real deal because I mean,
Yeah.
you start looking at like cleaning house.
Hmm.
Um, dude, you got some real offensive dudes that probably decommit and leave. And that's tough, man. That's tough.
Yeah.
You're gonna have
Yeah.
to really re-recruit and possibly lose some dudes that you could really use. I mean, that wide receiver room is stacked. You got a hell of an offensive line class, got a couple studs at running back. So it's just something you got to think about.
See, and
Yeah.
that's where I feel that BB can go to the next level, is that understanding that this is a this is a business. So there's going to be times that hard decisions going to be made, but that doesn't mean that we treat you as ambassadors. And if you're an ambassador, we already
Hmm.
included you as part of the nucleus of what we're building.
Right.
So if that's the case, then
Right.
I'm gonna tell them, look, hey, we need you. You're an ambassador to our what we're doing and for the future, and we're gonna build from you. So now it's in your court. Whatever you decide, at least knowing, hey, we still want you, and we still they definitely want to make sure that you're known that you would be a part of the cornerstone nucleus of our family.
Yeah, I agree with you guys.
Because understand that corporations, they do a lot of big stuff, but as long as you communicate, everybody knows there's a standard, and once the standard is not met, it is no more question, because you knew the standard from the get-go, and that's where accountability starts.
I can't for the life of me figure out why we run the edges and on the running game.
Mm-hmm.
We'll hit the edges and do good, and then you won't see it the rest of the game. That one had me scratching my head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And D-Mac brought that up on the show the other night.
Yeah,
man. But that's what I'm saying. Like, we have success at plays, and you never see it again. Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. Outside zone success, right? That works.
Yeah.
We'll move on to something else.
Yeah.
Right, but see, that's the difference in coaching style. If you got scripted plays, once you like, if I'm a defensive coordinator, once I know one defense is working, I'm gonna have a little cheat sheet and check. Okay, they really got this defense, and I'm gonna put scenario. They ran a run pass and was a good against both. So that way, you can come right back to it at a later series, but you don't go back to back. But you know what I'm saying? You know how to put a game plan together. Do that.
Shotty, we're wondering the same thing. Shotty's asking who signed off on the fake punt. That's the Shotty.
Oh,
that
please.
was stupid.
Hey, it's almost like a written plan. They thought that person was by themselves. They had 3-2, and then that person ran out. That was one of the backers ran out to there, but he already had made his decision to do a fake punt. That's what it looked like to me.
And I'm on the mindset right now. No more 2-point conversions. Just score the touchdown, kick the field goal, take the point. Take the extra point until we can get something else established on offense.
Yeah, man, we could have had 10 points last week.
Yeah,
could have been double digits.
Yeah, I mean, just.
Hey, and you know what's so challenging for all of us? We know it, but since we can't play it, we're just trying to put it into words so it'll paint a picture. So, yeah.
I mean, but I'm going to give my boy J.A. a shout. I was riding with Hawk. I'll admit that. But,
same here.
But when you go out in the first 3 minutes and you have 3 turnovers, not good. And I say it again. Now that we're back to Jackson Arnold, we do not need to play musical quarterbacks. J.A. needs to be in there. And I honestly, if you was to put some true serum in me, I would have set Jackson out for the Tennessee game, but the next week at Auburn, I'd have come right back with him. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's multiple ways to do it. I mean, you could do the Sarkisian way and bench him right before half, and then bring him back out at half just to reset. I mean,
a reset.
Yeah,
I think.
Or you could have done what? Or go ahead, guys. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think there's different ways you go about it. You can do the Sark way. You could do it, and it happens. And some maybe that extra time off and those couple weeks for Jackson were good, and maybe he's seeing the game a little different, watching it, having been out there, the first couple games. But I don't know. I'll tell you this though. I was shocked. I was shocked when Jackson actually came back in the game. Like
Me too. I was.
if you would have put some true serum in me, I'd have said Jackson Arnold ain't playing again this year. He's taking his red shirt. But that goes to show you what he's all about. And he, I was shocked, man, and he's impressed me. How he's handled it, and how he's moving forward, and he's ride or die for the Sooners right now, and that means a lot to me. That's showing me something right there. I'm not saying nobody else, but nobody was in Jackson Arnold's situation. He could have come out and said, "Hey, I'm red. I'm entering the portal. I'm redshirting this year, preserving this third year or my third year, and I'm in the portal." He didn't do that.
No. And for the most part, even though, God dang, he got sacked 9 times for us not having O-line, I mean, at times Jackson looked poised.
Yeah.
He looked confident. I mean, that touchdown pass to Brennan, I mean, that was money.
Yeah, it looked good.
And but he did.
That's the first time I think he looked like J.A. The truth. That pass was like, nah, I know where I'm going, and I see it now, and I'm going with it. No second guessing. I trust it.
Yeah.
I don't. Obviously there's still some improving that needs to be done with Jackson. A lot of growing and maturing. Football wise, I mean, I think he's handled it way better than most would at his age and being a 5-star and being the guy. But he's still got some improving. I would like to see, like I said, I'm no quarterback guy, and I don't claim to be the next guru or offensive coordinator. But, I do see like a little hesitation on pulling the trigger. Like I think that there's just a little bit more of a anticipatory throws, and not wait until they're open, but knowing that they're gonna be open and hitting them when they're open, and just fine tuning ball placement. Right? I think he could do better to set his receivers up by better balls and keeping them in stride and not have to turn and get them out of rhythm, and not allowing them to make a move after they catch the ball, on a well-placed ball. And that's nitpicking, in my opinion. But that's where we're at in football. Like, we're nitpicking at things right now because I mean, that's just what we do in this day and age. And he's got all the tools. He's got all the tools.
He does.
Jackson's got all the tools. It just needs to be in, a dedicated, like the quarterback is the most important position on the field. And, a dedicated coach to that guy that is a quarterback, that's played quarterback and can speak that language is going to pay dividends. And
exactly.
I think that's key. And, I had to do my research on Johns, but sounds like he did a good job with the Duke quarterback. What was his name? Leonard.
Something like that.
With him. So hopefully that helps out our quarterbacks, man, because it's getting rough.
I like what Comanche Sooner said. He said J.A. is being a better team player than Rattler when he got benched. I agree with that.
What I wanted to do is big shout out to Jacob Jordan.
Oh my God, yes.
As a walk-on, hey, you're not a walk-on no more. You're a true ambassador because you stepped up and you were there for your brothers.
Yeah, and he looked like he
yesterday. Like
go ahead, Mike.
Scholarship yesterday, man. Like I don't know where you got to find it. Some NIL, pay for it, like something like that, dude. Just in that, he made that dude miss on the sideline when he caught the ball. Hey, man, I said it earlier on Jason's show. I was like the Leonardo DiCaprio where he jumps off the couch and points. I was like that during the game. And I was like, get him out there. He needs to be a starter. Get him on scholarship right now. Like, pause the game. Have BV come out with the mic and tell him he's on scholarship right now. Right then and there, dude.
Stop the
has
game.
to have,
Stop the
that's the
game.
most life I've
Dylan,
seen out
tell
of
us.
our offense. And man, the
Yeah.
dude is cold. He's cold, man. Little JJ cold, boy.
Yeah, he is, bro.
Hitting the ball.
And he looked like he played with a sense of urgency Saturday. I mean, Gabe pointed this out. He, even though he might not got past to, he was hitting his routes right, running the right blocks, running the right schemes. I mean, he looked like yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And Comanche Sooner, who knows? I mean, what is behind the scenes?
Yeah.
I mean, shit, I wanted the same thing too. Like, where's this dude? This dude playing like that, and he ain't got a tick until 3/4 of the way through the year, damn near.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And we
I
got
know.
our whole receiving corps decimated. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be like super critical of the coaches, but damn, dude
Yeah.
come out there and showed his whole ass, bro, and was balling. Like, there's just no reason. Like, I don't know, man. I'm starting to get emotional and I'm getting worked up. I'm reverting to Saturday Mike after the game. Let me calm down. But yeah, he needs to play more. Yeah, he needs to play more for sure.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I would hope,
Yeah,
if anything, what that does is a lot of the wide receivers can help the quarterbacks out by, when you get your opportunity, make the most of it. Don't allow it to be dropped. You do too much to get to that point
Yeah.
to get the ball.
And he made the best of his opportunity.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I think somebody said Stoops 2.0.
Yeah, man, he's good. He's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't
He's
trying
good.
to hate on Stoops, but shit, I hope he's better than Stoops. You know what
I
I
know.
mean?
Hey, no doubt. No
Yeah.
doubt.
Hey.
No doubt.
Stoops is the man,
No doubt.
but I want him to be better.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
Right now, yes. Way
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Stoops is the man, but I want him to be. Yeah, man, let me tell you.
put him in the
was
slot like they
That
used to do Drake.
filthy. That's like the highlight of the year right now. Is that little
Yeah.
move on the sideline over in front of their bench?
Yeah, in front of their bench.
That's like the highlight of the year right now. It ain't
And
a touchdown.
Mhm.
I mean, it's like it's Kip 6 in that play right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for the most part, though.
Mhm.
I don't. It's not just because he's white from Oklahoma. Like, that dude come out and balled. If it was Zion Reagan's or
He
anything,
did.
like, whew. You know what I mean? The kid balled.
Yeah.
He did.
Well, the thing about it is, go ahead.
Ball. He balled.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. No, the simple fact is, I just wanted to give a big shout out because a lot of these, walk-ons, they do a lot behind the scenes. But when you get your moment and you shine like Tyree did last year, and now Jacob Jordan doing this year, no
Mhm.
excuses, man. You can juminate and fan base and also your teammates realizing, hey, look, he's putting his situation on the line as well, and he doesn't. He's a walk on. What are we doing
Yeah.
with our opportunities? It's
Yeah.
big now. That's a huge shot in the arm during that game.
Mhm.
He didn't play high school in Oklahoma. He's from Texas.
Mhm.
South Lake in Carroll, Texas, I think is what I
Yeah, Westlake.
Yeah.
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 South.
Yeah. He's.
Yep.
And well, guys, Bishop, before you came on,
Uh-huh.
I told Mike that I did some homework after Jason's show today,
Okay.
and it's a list of potential offensive coordinators. Now, I didn't go through the only thing is I got their numbers, where they're ranked, blah blah blah,
Mhm.
and y'all know I've been high on Brendan Marion for the simple fact his quarterback redshirted and is going in the portal, and UNLV hasn't missed a step. And I'm
Right.
high on Brendan Marion, and his average is 43.6 points per game. And but This one right here has me interested. Mike Shanahan at Indiana. He leads the country in scoring offense at 48.2 and is fifth in total offense at 512.7 yards, and Indiana is 7-0. And that one's got me intrigued. And then Jeff Nixon at Syracuse, 7.
I watched him play.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I watched Indiana for the first time this week for about the first 45 minutes of the game before the Oklahoma game started. And that quarterback they got, man, like I can't. He come from FBS or FCS maybe. But dude, he looks good. Like the offense looks good. They're pounding the rock. They're running the ball. But I don't know what they put up on Nebraska. Was it like 50, 56 or 40 something? I don't remember what it was. They gave him the business.
Yeah,
that
56.
Looked like it was moving, man.
56-7.
Nebraska ain't allowed a rushing touchdown the whole year prior to that game.
Yeah. I mean, Indiana's rolling on offense. I mean, and heck, even Jeff Nixon at Syracuse, he's 17th in total offense at 469.5 and 32nd in scoring offense at 33.8. And as I look down these numbers, the way our defense plays, that's enough points per game to win you the game. As I look at these coaches' numbers. Now, am I saying they're going to come in the first season and set the world on fire? No, because and I know that when you bring in a new OC with a new scheme, new this, it's going to take some time to build it. But I'm just looking at the potentials in these head coaches. Even Zach Kitley at Taco Tech University, 18th in scoring offense at 38.7 and 19th in total offense, 459.7 yards. Ben Arbuckle at Wazoo, he's tied 20th in total offense, averaging 459 yards per game, 15th in scoring at 39.6. And then Andy, how do you say his name again? Kotelnicki. He's averaging 471.2 yards per game and 28th in scoring. Take any one of these coaches. I mean,
what about Will Stein? Did you get Will Stein?
No, I was just going through these. Willie Korn is a good choice.
Yeah.
The Oregon offensive coordinator, because he would bring in samples, but do we have enough to throw a bag at the Oregon OC because they got that Nike NIL money?
Well, you know what? At this point, we don't leave no stone unturned. You just don't know. So I ain't putting it before the horse. Everybody getting a call.
Yeah.
So here's shout out my guy Parker Thune over at OU Insider.
Yeah.
Right, here's the list that he compiled last night after the thing went gone. He's got Brennan Marion, Willie Korn, Joe Craddock, which I thought was interesting. We ain't heard that name a lot. Jake Spavital. Joe John, obviously. Mike Shanahan. Cade Bell, which is another one that I hadn't thought about. And Tim Beck at Vandy.
Yeah, Tim. Yes. Let me ask a question. Before Jeff Levy last year left, he had said something that has been in the back of my mind, that Joe John was ready to call plays back then. And I'm like, I don't know. I just wondered how much if Joe John is really ready, are we that far off? Do you think? for the rest of the season?
If well, Bishop, I have an old saying from my brother and my daddy. Proof is in the pudding and the eating thereof. So we will see Saturday when OU plays Ole Miss in Oxford.
Well, I know this, that can we I'm just putting it out there. I'm praying that we can score 21 points and watch our defense go to work.
I tell you what, if we score 21 points and lose by 3, I'll throw a celebration.
Hey! Somebody just threw a name out here on a boards, and we ain't brought it up yet, and I like it. Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm down. Hey, like I said, no stone unturned.
Yeah.
At this point, and not only that, is it can't just be the OC. We got to make sure that we got a solid quarterback coach that we know has developed young men, because we got to get these young men that decide to stay grounded with us to develop and get to where they believe back into a system.
Mm-hmm. As bad as I couldn't stand Chuck third and long. You know, he was before he became OC at OU during the early 2000s. He was a heck of a quarterback coach. Because if you look at the 99 season with Heupel compared to the 2000, it was night and day. And plus, let's not forget that Chuck was runner-up in the Heisman Trophy when he was quarterbacking at Iowa.
Yeah.
You know, but we need a good quarterback coach who can develop these young quarterbacks, work, and like you're saying, Mike, someone who can work on their getting that ball out quicker without hesitation. You know, 3 steps, set up, boom, fire it. You know,
What about Colin Klein?
No stone unturned. I ain't turning. Hey, the key is we want someone that we know that have had success, and that when they go into big games, they stay within their their play calling and have an actual play sheet that they will stick to. Because right now we need someone that
I'm going to get to. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'm going to get to Jacob Cole's comments. He mentioned something about Garrett Riley. Jacob, I'm going to say this. The university probably 100% does not want anybody with the last name of Riley to ever set foot at their university again. As good as an OC as Garrett is, him being Lincoln Riley's brother, Lincoln burned his bridge at OU, and I doubt OU even considers throwing a proposition at Garrett.
Not only that, Garrett's doing pretty good with Clemson, and you know how BV is with the Clemson. So I hear what he's saying, but I don't see it myself. But like I said, no stone unturned. That's up to BV. We trust BV and the head people to make those decisions. But yeah.
And I've already heard.
Go ahead, bro.
And I've already heard Brent Venable say he's not going to poach any players or coaching staff from Dabo Swinney. I've heard him say that.
Okay.
Was that initially when he left there, or does that apply for like ever?
Yeah, I think it's applied forever, because there has been several great Clemson players hit in the portal, and Brent never did go after him. So
How about this? What is one of the criteria is their record in the SEC? If they ever
do
have
what, Bishop?
their success record in the SEC,
Who's
could
that?
that be one of their criteria?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Potential OCs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. You got it. Yeah, when you're shopping for an OC right now, SEC has it. Are they SEC mindful? Are they going
Yeah.
to be able to produce
Correct.
a top quality offense in SEC? That's got to be first and foremost. I mean, because you could, these numbers I've read off, them are great numbers, but if you don't have it for the SEC, you could go in and throw a dud in your first 2 years.
Because
So
see those are great names, but like I said, in the SEC, we're talking big boy football where if you don't have the front lines for offense and defensive line, then
yeah,
you got to start there. And
yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
because
where Beaton Bowl
we're
has to
money.
step it up.
We're
So,
money on the We're money on the defensive line.
wow,
Now,
no doubt. But
now we need to be. Now we need to be money on the offensive line.
offense.
We need to feed them boys some beans and taters and cornbread and some corn and get them boys beefed up.
More than that, we need to have competitive depth on the offensive line side.
Yeah. We hear competitive depth. That's on the defensive side. We don't have it on the offensive side.
Facts.
And usually,
I think it's time we start turning the young bucks on loose, man.
I agree with you.
I agree.
You gotta start, man. Start turning them youngins loose, man.
I mean, start trying out the Haitian law firm in EPL, Danny Okunkumene, Eugene Brooks, Autry Dent.
Yep.
Let them put them pups in. It can't, like we've been saying, Mike. It can't get any worse.
I mean, I think it could always get worse. But it's you'd rather have them make them mistakes and learn stuff right now when you're
exactly.
As bad as this hurts to say, your 2024 season is all your goals and everything is it's bleak. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's really you're not accomplishing what you wanted. So, I mean,
exactly.
You gotta start.
And I don't blame. We said this on Jason's show earlier today. These reporters report, sticking the microphones in the faces of these kids, especially after a big loss Saturday, and then dog Danny Stutzman for what he said, about the fans and everything. Don't bash on Stutz, please, for the love, because you put the reporters put themselves in that position because Danny was in his feels at that moment. I've seen Brian Bosworth getting his feels the day he said he hated that burnt orange made him puke when we tied Texas in '84. It just I don't blame. I'll say this: I don't blame Danny Stutzman one bit for saying what he said Saturday.
To be honest with you, I don't have a problem with what he said.
I don't either.
Didn't move the needle for me. In fact, since he's a leader, I would expect him to say that.
Exactly. All it did was give me goosebumps on my arms when he said it. Because I love me some Danny Stutzman.
So,
I tell you, what's that?
He just, I mean, like if Danny Stutzman's comment offended you, you might be who he was talking about.
Ooh.
Exactly.
I mean, if it applies.
Mama always said, if the shoe fits, wear it.
Yep. Yep.
Documentation beat conversation.
Yeah, man.
I
watched every play. I ain't turned off a game, ain't left the game,
me
nothing.
either.
I don't, and it is what it is.
You're a Sooner.
I thought it was pretty legit.
You're a diehard Sooner fan when you go to a lot of games during the 90s and you went to that game and you stayed all 4 quarters. Right here, guys.
Here you go, Ryan Lemon. I understand that line of thinking, but in the game of football, can't worry about getting hurt, man. Can't play scared.
Can't play scared.
Doesn't matter, man. You got to play. You got to play. Explain worse.
Yeah. This ain't flag football and intramurals.
I think you can imagine what worse is chicken. Like I don't think I have to say it, but
I already know what worse is, but I ain't going there. We've had enough doom and gloom in the past couple of weeks to last us several lifetimes. We're gonna have positivity on this channel today.
Yeah, hey, Mark Swearingen. Yeah, you're right. I do see that. The last 4 games. I think.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think majority of them are going to get. I think majority of them are going to get that.
Well, looky who's coming to join us. It is my brother from another mother, Jason Watkins from Hall of Fame and the Coach Media. My best friend.
Hey,
he's blessing us with. He's another one of those that is.
Man, I heard what you were talking about. I wanted to
Jason is another one of those that's as cool as the other side of the pillar.
Hey,
every time,
Jason, how we doing?
Fabulous. What's up, gentlemen? How we doing?
Oh, man, we're good. We're just talking about unleashing the pups, man. In red shirts and making sure we keep some years. But hey, what about the dudes whose red shirts are already gone? You know what I mean? Yeah. What about those guys? Play them. You know what I mean? Let them loose.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Turn them loose.
I think that's the right. I think it's the right time to do
it.
Hey,
Jason. After I got off the show with you and Big Mike this morning, I did my homework.
Did you? What homework?
Yes, I did. I did my homework. I went and looked at the next OCs for OU. Even put up their numbers.
Who you like?
I didn't want to come on. I didn't want to come on my show looking like I was harvesting earwax with my pencil.
Wildin'. You're wildin', man. Yeah. We can't take you nowhere.
Chicken
Nope, you can't take me nowhere.
Nowhere.
Oh, I'm going to give a shout out. My sister Cheryl is listening on her way home. She's my oldest sister. I love her to death, sis. If you're listening, I got a funny story about her. When I was little, 4 years old, when Daddy would come in off the truck and Mom and Daddy would go shopping, Cheryl would let Mom and Daddy get gone for maybe 30 minutes. And then she would tell me, Michael, you're adopted and your real name is Orville Shagnasty. So all of my life, Cheryl, Orville Shagnasty. And to this day, she will send me a birthday card that says happy birthday, Orville. Or when I call her, hello, Orville.
That's a real sister right there.
I love her to death, though.
Yeah. Willie Nelson Sweet Tarts Chicken says.
But anyway, getting back. Chicken has been on fire in this chat today.
Willie Nelson gummies.
Yeah.
Shout out to Willie Nelson gummies.
Yeah.
But
Hey, I
Jason,
see the commercial. I see the commercial.
I'm still
on
high
YouTube.
on Brennan Marion, but the more
Cheech and Chong's, you can get them in the mail. Cheech and Chong's little things.
Tommy Chong's been selling that stuff for a minute now, right there on Twitter.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
he sure has. Jason, I've said in the past that I like Brennan Marion, but the more I look at Mike Shanahan, the better I like him.
I hear that. I've been hearing that too, man.
At Indiana.
I was actually watching a little bit of film of theirs earlier. They look good. They look good. I don't know how much I trust Big Ten competition that they've played so far, but I like the offense. I think it's definitely well organized. They know what they're trying to do at all times. So,
that's the key. Yeah, that's the key.
Now, Jason, before you came on, here's what we was talking about before you came on. What's your idea on the next OC having to be SEC minded?
Well, I don't know that he has to be. Well, I think you have to have a mind for the SEC and like being able to recruit it and stuff. But I think sometimes that's a little overblown. But I think if you have some.
Where'd Jason go?
I was like, what'd I say?
Man.
You didn't say nothing, brother. I got my mouse sitting right here in front of me, and I was.
That's one of my moves, man. I kick people out when they say stupid shit.
No, you're fine. I didn't kick you out, Jason. That was accident. I was trying to get to my comment. But go ahead, what you was saying, brother.
No, I think there's something to it if you've been in the SEC, but a lot of these coaches, I believe, you probably have. And I'm not sure about Coach Shanahan. I don't know who. I didn't really know who he was until the last few weeks when they've been talking about him a lot.
Right.
But I do think that. But I also think, okay, so in terms of, like, say we're talking about our guy from Oregon, right? Will Stein. I don't know how much he's worked in the SEC, but I know that he's worked at Texas. I know he worked at UTSA. He was a high school coach in Texas, a winning high school coach in Texas, and he's got a lot of recruiting ties there as well. I think the main thing, if you're Oklahoma, you need to continue keeping the pipelines that you have anyway.
Right.
And football players, if they're the right guy to play in the league, I mean, it's all about athletes, man. It's about the athletes and about the game about the attack that you put out there. I don't think it would be a problem. And hell, there's 5 and 4 star, tons of 5 and 4 star receivers and everything in Texas. Texas it's arguably the best high school football in the country.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's arguable, but not that arguable. I mean, per capita, there's more good football players coming out of that state than anywhere else. What are you laughing about there, Big Mike?
Matthew McConaughey put out a post to the Longhorn Nation about the incident the other night, and that it made me laugh.
Did he scald him? Was he scalding the Longhorn Nation?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah, he did.
Sorry,
I gotta see this.
Oh my God, that's funny. Well, I think Eddie Radosevich, like his sense of humor, man, like
Eddie makes me laugh. I like Eddie too, man.
He makes me laugh. And
Eddie Radosevich is cool.
His post was like, "You're a legit crazy person if you don't read this in the author's voice," and that's what made me laugh. Like I picture a Dallas Buyers Club Matthew McConaughey reading this little letter right here.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is great stuff. I gotta look at this.
Yeah, but
I can't stand Matthew McConaughey.
I
That's
would
a
say
word.
Texas and Florida.
Hey, Mike, sure.
Go ahead.
What?
Did I freeze? Did somebody freeze?
I don't know. I think he might have.
No, you're fine. We're just sitting here.
I think.
Am I good?
Bishop, were you trying to say something? I think you might be a little behind or something. What were you saying there, Bishop?
Yeah. What I was saying is that for the most part, we want someone that believes in their system and they're relatable and can develop,
Right.
as well as that has been known to be good in recruiting.
I agree. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that's the main thing is you got to get a guy that's going to. Well, and I mean, if they're bringing their own staff, they're a bunch of amazing recruiters, just like what you would expect. I mean, they got to be that guy that can go into any room and get the guy that he wants. And I mean,
Exactly.
you've got the brand behind you, but so you got to be able to close.
Yeah.
I think that's where the questions that everybody seems to be having is, will they keep anybody around? I mean, I think that it's fair to ask the question, but I also think that overall, guys like,
Hey, Jason, can y'all keep it going for a minute? I got to excuse myself for a minute.
Go ahead.
Sure.
We got you.
I think that overall, you got guys that are recruiting really good right now. So any of the guys that they're talking about, whether it be Bill Bedenbow, whether it be Emmett Jones, I mean, the chances are they probably want to keep a couple of these guys around. You know what I mean? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Some of them might not at all. You know what I mean?
Right.
It feels like some of the guys that they would, because I know with Emmett, he's one of those guys that, similar to Rashad Samples, I mean, he's got a lot of connections in the Metroplex, which is where you always get a lot of these guys. He's closing on them. Nobody's closing more receivers than what he is, aside from Brian Hartline, that are higher ranked,
Right.
I mean, they hadn't gotten that one big time guy yet, as far as like. But again, I would tell you guys that the star ratings are not always what they're cracked up to be. I mean, look, we know that Cam Coleman is really, really good. We know that the kid at Alabama is really, really good. We know that Smith at Ohio State they're the real deal. But some of those guys, Bryant Wesco, that's another one of those top 5 or 6 receivers in the country, and he hasn't been the guy for Clemson just yet.
Right. Yeah.
In the end, I think you're going to do fine with some of these guys. I don't think that you have to overthink it, but when you got a guy like Will Stein, a guy like Will Stein that's a Texas guy, or a guy like GJ Kinney who's a Texas guy. I mean, these guys are going to be able to continue doing what you do, and particularly when you stick the brand behind them, and they've already shown that they can develop these players. I think you go get. I don't know how much it matters. I mean, to me now, SEC country.
Jason, Mike, what?
Right? It's Oklahoma and Texas is SEC country.
Right.
Yeah. And Jason, I would like to ask you, if we do pursue Willie Stein at Oregon, they got that big Nike NIL money. How do we counter the money that they would want to keep Willie Stein there at Oregon?
Oklahoma oil money.
Yeah.
Got to be willing.
Go take out a loan.
You got to do it. Hey, listen, there's enough big money boosters in Oklahoma. Let's not get it twisted and act like they don't have the cash. It's all
they do.
It's just making sure we get the right price.
I don't know what that means at this point. You went cheap. And
I guarantee you right now that
they're paying Seth $1 million. They're going to have to pay him, but they're paying him to not coach right now. So I think that when it comes to
Will Stein is going to be $2 to $3 million.
Okay.
$2 to $3 million. Easy.
He's proven.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we're not in their place to make that decision. But I I agree that he's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And I like the idea of trying to reel in Will Stein for the simple fact Samples comes with him. And
yeah.
Samples' daddy is the head coach at Duncanville.
Yeah.
Well, think what that would do for OU.
Would be
You
huge.
agree with that, Jason?
Oh yeah, no, I think it'd be great. I think it'd be awesome, and I think now I would also tell you that they've got connections to Samples already through Emmett.
Yeah,
anyway.
Yeah.
To his dad.
That's true too.
So I mean, they haven't won those guys out of there just yet, but I don't know how much they've been. I think he recruits who he recruits, and so look, you got to wait. Here's what I try to get this through to a lot of people sometimes, and like you get Sooner Cowboys who gets in there and starts talking about 5 stars for it's all about that with those guys, and a lot of people are that way. What you have to look at is who's offering them. I was just talking to Marcus Dent a little while ago, and he was talking about that they had 18 offers, but those 18 offers were almost every SEC school, Oregon, all them, and they didn't bother with continuing camping once they had already made a commitment. And so they dropped him in the stars, but the guy's 6'6", 325 pounds. You know what I mean? It's like this is a left tackle monster, and he was the number one. He was the number one tackle in the state of Mississippi and Alabama, and they made him a 3-star by the end of it.
Yeah, First Lady makes a point right here.
It's politics.
There is politics to it, and
facts.
We've talked about that. We've talked about this before. That if Nigel Smith goes and plays for Larry Johnson at Ohio State, he's a 5-star.
Yep.
See, and here's the difference. Here's the difference, right? So, like when you look at with Nigel going to Ohio State, becoming a 5-star, and him going to Oklahoma State, a 4-star, it was the opposite for my son. If my son goes to K-State, consensus 4-star, because I'm in the state of Kansas. Since he didn't go to K-State, he dropped.
They deemed him.
He got passed up by a bunch of other kids.
Same thing about too. He was supposed to. They thought he was going to go to Ole Miss because he's 45 minutes from Ole Miss, and then whenever he ended up going to Oklahoma instead. There was some shenanigans there too.
Yeah,
and that should happen. I mean, look, I did a video on it, and we talked about it to Shelton from High Top, and he talked about the Florida guys that had. Well, there's a running back. I'll just give you one example. They had the running back that had committed to Florida. Before he committed, he was a high 4-star. I think he was like 100 and the low 100s, 100 to 120, somewhere in there. Whenever he commits to Florida, he dropped 100 spots.
Wow.
Then he flips to Georgia, and he ends up in the top 120, in the top 100 again.
Yep. That's crazy.
So it's as much. I mean, we talk, and listen, I love Barry and Max show, and what they were talking about last night. It made a lot of sense. They do recruit. So he was talking about getting their assistant head coach, and it's an offensive guy. He's put a bunch of guys, first round quarterbacks. He was a quarterback coach, all that stuff, and I think it would be a great hire, by the way. And I loved what he was talking about. He also brought up Stein in that conversation, but he was saying that they're recruiting so well. Well, okay, yeah, that's true. But how many of those guys are really 5-stars, or they're 5-stars because Kirby got them?
Wow,
exactly.
How many of those guys?
That's why I never.
Alabama are 5-stars, or they're 5-stars because they went for Nick Saban, right? So automatically, Sheldon, his name is Sheldon, whatever his name is, that he owned 247. He started Rivals 247 and On3. He's owned them all, all the big ones. And he told them, but he was talking about a receiver that they downgraded. I don't remember where he ended up going, but he was, as long as it looked like he was going to go to Ohio State, he was a 5-star. Then whenever he decided, I think it was Clemson or Georgia even. Now, again, Ohio State gets all these 5-star receivers because that's what you expect from that coach there, right? Well, so he tells them apparently there's a story about a kid fell asleep in a meeting and he had some personal problems at home, or that home life was bad. They dropped him like 200 places in the rankings. Now the problem with this is that on 3, especially, they're all going to end up doing it, but with that star rating comes an NIL valuation.
Yeah.
Facts.
Which also can sway that, guys. I mean, think about that. If you're somebody that's in trouble and you need to really, you need to make sure that works out. You need to make sure they give you the 5-star guys whenever you get them, whatever, But if you're
exactly,
it could also be that, hey, you know what? We don't really have the NIL money to get this guy. And so we're going to make it. Why don't you guys drop him about 100 spots and he's a 3-star now instead of a 4-star. And that way, we only have to pay him X amount of dollars. So you get him on the cheap. Now it screws over the player, but it helps out that coach, and they can kick back money to that. And I mean, don't think for a second that they don't do things like that. It's not a perfect science. I'm not telling you that they're not always, that some of them aren't right. I think the top 32 guys, anybody would probably call them a 5-star, right? But look at what they did to David Stone. Everywhere else, he's a top 10 guy. At the end of the cycle last year, they dropped him all the way to the bottom of the top 32, like 29th or something. Pissed him right off.
Yeah.
And another thing, you're going to tell me that
Jason
wasn't a 5-star? Jaden wasn't a 5-star? Or were we serious?
Freshman All-American.
Danny Okoye.
Yeah. What's the reason for that? What's the reason? It's because he played at a homeschool league. He no competition. Yeah. Well, when he went to these all-star games and went to the Alabama camp, and Saban was frothing over him.
Exactly.
Dude, hey,
yeah,
I was at the Army All-American, the Army Bowl, and 2 of the best, probably top 5 players out there, both was Okoye and Mike. Like Okoye was out there just wrecking dudes, right? Mike probably led the whole game in tackles.
Oh my God,
he tore Julian Sayin up, right?
Huh?
They tore Julian Sayin up, didn't they?
He wasn't out there.
Who was that quarterback that they got that was going?
Oh yeah,
yeah. I don't know. They had one quarterback that was going to LSU. Can't remember his name. But Danny Okoye looked like a man amongst boys out there. The big ass offensive tackles that we had, they couldn't touch him. He's just running around, hitting the quarterback, strip sacking, just do whatever he wanted, man, all over the place.
Right.
Yeah, but Danny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Like
same with Nigel. I mean, if Nigel goes to A&M, or because E-Rob was recruiting him at A&M, he becomes a 5-star there too. Same thing if he goes to Georgia or maybe even Penn State. But Larry Johnson is the godfather of defensive line coaches. He's had 15 first-team All-Americans. 15. And I think, 15 first-team All-Americans. I think he's had 12 that were taken in the top 5 of the draft. 12. So if he gets him, they automatically make him a 5-star. Same with Brian Hartline with receivers. So, they to think that they actually see all these kids is silly talk.
Yeah.
Right.
And look at the way that DJ Lagway was going up and down the whole year until he ended up winning Gatorade Player of the Year. So again, I don't give a shit about the stars. I know that the tight end, talking about the tight end kid from man, why am I spacing his name? Yeah, the OU tight end that can't. Huh?
Devon Mitchell.
Yeah, Devon.
Yeah, Devon. Yeah.
He was the number 1 recruit for this class in 2025 in California. The number 1 recruit in California. Not nobody better. Right? So he moves to the 2024 class. He drops out of the top 100 in everyone except for ESPN. You know, he's a top 5 guy overall in the 26 class, but they make him out of the top 100 when he chooses Oklahoma. Okay, that's silly talk. He's still a 5-star talent, but and I would say the same thing about Michael. I mean, you're gonna tell me, listen, if Teddy Lehman tells me that the kid is the better safety than a guy he played with that's in the College Football Hall of Fame, how is he a 3-star in most of them? And would have, at the worst, he's a top 100, top 150 kid. No way, 2 ways around it. We've seen his video. We've all seen it, and we've seen what he does.
We live in the middle of Kansas in Junction City.
I get it.
Yep.
That's my PC version.
That's the point, though. Don't act like that these recruiting services are the end all be all when they're fucking not.
Yeah, no, they're not.
Right. Well, I tell you what, when I seen,
like you mentioned earlier, Jason, like when I started understanding the ins and outs and how it really works, like that NIL that you get out of school is based on your rankings, and that's when I was like, oh, they're messing with the money, and that's when I thought.
And I think Arch is really good. I think Arch Manning's really good. I don't think he was the best quarterback in that class.
No.
He didn't play competition that tells you he was the best quarterback in that class. He's a Manning, so they made him the best quarterback, the only perfect recruit ever. And I think that's going even further beyond. I mean, I think he's really good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he sucks. I'm not saying he's a 3-star. I'm just telling you, do I think he's the best quarterback? No. I'm not going to go as far as some people and say if his name was Smith, he'd been a 3-star, because I don't believe that's the case either. But the point being that there's a lot of things that go into it that have zero to do with their talent.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think that they'll be fine.
Another prime example is Chris Sims at Texas. It was his daddy.
Dude, that was my senior year.
Yeah, Chris Sims.
And when we played Texas.
Wow.
Hey, man, Major Applewhite was the better player.
Oh, far. He had to come in and bail him out
by far
multiple times in the year.
Major Applewhite was that guy, man.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
I don't.
They played Chris Sims so often instead of Major.
Yeah.
True freshman.
But here's what I want to, me as a fan, here's what I want to see with the next OC. I want to see Brent do what Bob did with Kevin Wilson and Lincoln Riley. Here's the playbook. You're the head coach. Do you think? That's what I want to see.
I'm not mad at that.
Think anybody disagrees with me on that.
I'm not mad at it.
Well, if you're getting a top tier OC, that's basically what you're telling them. Look, if we're hiring you for that, then you have the run of the mill and you put it together how you need to put it together.
Go get these guys. Period.
Yeah.
You go get
don't
in the world. You go get those guys. Period.
Find a way.
And you know all the big time donors and the regents. I have a feeling that the checkbooks will be opened up for the next OC.
They're open, man. They're going to close up if they don't get a good OC though. That's the point. Is that
exactly?
The only way you don't get these guys and they don't pay up is when they stop thinking that they're getting a return on their money.
There you go.
Exactly.
It's still a business,
and
it's a big fat write-off for sure. Like Kimberly,
and
Case, she's not wrong. They're $1 million tax write-offs when they give that to the school or whatever. But they still they want more than that, and they want this school to win. They're not giving you that money so you can go blow it on the coordinator that's putting a tight end on the fucking All-American edge.
Hey man, you got Send it all,
Damn,
bro.
Jason, you sounded like me this
Borrow for
morning,
next
brother.
year. Send it all and go in the hole for next year.
Yeah, do what you got to do, man. Get these.
Yeah.
Man,
Go get
and
them.
have a script.
Yeah, we just
Whoever's the OC, have a script of plays that without a doubt, without a doubt, you can go to if things start getting thick.
Yeah, I think that goes without saying with the best OCs that are out there. They've got a plan. They're doing everything that they can do the way that they want it done. I don't think that there's any two ways around it, but I do believe that. Yeah, I think that Oklahoma's already recruiting on the level they need to recruit on to play in the SEC, folks. Don't get it twisted and think that they do.
exactly.
What happened this year? Okay, we want to have a big argument about Big Bill. Fine, you guys argue all you want to with the wall for all I care, because I know what he's done and I know what he can do. Now, did he misidentify and as maybe some things made him not look great?
You're right, Jason. And I like Kimberly Kay. First Lady has been on fire today with her comments.
She never misses. She never
BV
misses.
will not allow. She never misses.
Batting 1,000.
BV will not allow the new OC to make the defense look bad. He's not happy about it as is. The defense is his baby. It's personal. The team has to be great.
Yeah,
Enough said.
It's making him look bad right now.
Yeah,
exactly.
Especially when you have so many mistakes that you're 21 points down in five minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Look, and I mean, it doesn't take a football savant to realize it ain't going well right now. That side of the
And I'm not giving Hawk a pass on that first INT he threw, but they went back and showed the replay. Jacob Sexton pulled off of that double team and left Bauer Sharp to block that defensive end. And and even the commentator in the game says, why did Sexton pull off of that block with Bauer Sharp?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, and they were upset with Jacob anyway.
Oh yeah, he's not a left.
Yeah. Well, see the rules. Well, yeah, don't let me get on my soapbox. Big on big. That's always been the rule. Junior high, high school, you never leave a tight end on the edge. They are the release valve.
All American tight end, even you don't do that, man. Come
on.
I wouldn't have put anybody on that. I mean, you just can't do it. Now, whether or not that was what, if all he's supposed to be doing is chipping, and then you got to get that guy out of the game then. And at that point, I don't know, man. I think there's some things that are going on. All I hope is that you just got to get some competency, because you can't tell me that there's anything competent about that. And we're not the only people saying this. Right. Hell, Gabe Eichert does. I mean, he's been killing them. Nobody blocks the fucking 3 technique. You know?
Well, that's what I'm.
Hey, I need y'all, and this is your homework. This is your homework, people, and for the people in the chat. Help us find these clips of these Gabe. If you got a clip of that, of the Gabe and Teddy F bombs on the Oklahoma breakdown, I need them. Right? Like if you got that clip somewhere, or somebody's got that.
Listen,
like send it to me.
I was asking for that homework earlier, so I'm hoping we get it. It's got to go on the board.
Somebody's got to have it, man. Somebody's got to have those F-bombs. Yeah. I'm sure I'm not on TikTok.
For someone that breaks down film like I do, it's so frustrating to see just the fundamentals being this abused. Like they don't know, like they don't even get coached like that, and it's just, it's not right. I know BB teaches them big on big and other stuff, and when you don't pay attention to the details, it shows.
Yep.
You know, I hate to bring up the old days, but there is one tight end that that if you was on defense, he was going to take your head off.
Keith Jackson.
Yeah. He was that dude.
I can see that. He was a different cat.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, he was
Jackson either, legend.
He was cut.
And Bauer Sharp is not Keith Jackson. I'm sorry.
Exactly. No, not everybody's Keith.
Did y'all see that?
What?
Texas got fined for the throwing the beer on the field.
They did.
Yeah.
$250,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that.
That ain't
Papa Stanky has spoken on that deal.
If he was real about it, he'd have hit him for a mil at least. $250,000. Please.
Not only
Texas
that,
like,
but like
okay,
they got
give you
him
that
to overturn
quarters.
the call by doing it. They got him to overturn the call by doing it. Shit.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I have never seen them do that
Mhm.
on a call like that.
Y'all follow Tattoo Baker on Twitter?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he posted he screenshotted something from 247 that they put out about Ewers shutting it down this year to work on a draft. 247 put it out and then like deleted it immediately after.
Yeah, that he's gonna sit out the rest of the season.
Damn.
Prepare for the draft.
Yeah. That's wild.
What in the world?
Uh-oh.
That was,
That was
I guess
Mr.
that was
Frank.
Bishop's thing going on.
Frank's got some noisiness
Yeah.
going on
Yeah.
back there.
Yeah.
But-
Man.
But at the end of the day, fellers, you know, I'm with the list that I give out today, Jason. That I like I told Big Mike after I got off with y'all, man. I worked double time doing this, and here's just some lists, some names besides Brennan Marion and Mike Shanahan. And you got Jeff Nixon, you got Zach Kitley at Taco Tech University, Ben Arbuckle at Wazoo, and the dude at Penn State. Mike has been instructing me all show.
Kotelnicki.
Kotelnicki.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at them guys' numbers, Jason, the way their average points and their average yards and the way our defense has been playing, if we had some offense like that, we win more games. That's what I'm looking at is the numbers.
I'm sorry, I was reading this diatribe from Matthew McConaughey. I missed you. And I couldn't help but do it in the Winterton voice. All right. Longhorn Nation. And specifically our DKR student section. MOC McConaughey here.
Master of Ceremonies, I think is what that means. Is that what that means? MOC?
Maybe so. Yeah, probably.
Isn't it just MC?
Yeah. MOC McConaughey coming at you here. First of all, you were electric Saturday night when we hosted Georgia. Bravo. Let's continue to bring it. Even though our Horns didn't get the W, you created a measurable home field advantage. But let's get real about the bottle bomb and the field glitch we had. Bogey move. Bogey move.
Man,
This is high.
it was a rough dugger. Hey, that gumbo was rough. It had too many strays in it.
Next up, November 9th, when the Gators come to town. Let's make sure they feel the heat. Wow.
Is Matthew McConaughey saying this?
Yeah.
I was trying. Yeah, that was Matthew McConaughey's. That was my Matthew McConaughey voice. It probably sucked, but
You do a pretty good impression.
All right.
yeah.
Let's go on and beat them Gators today.
MOC McConaughey here.
He gets on my McConaughey is my fingernails on the chalkboard. God.
Hey,
Ugh.
hey, McConaughey does this thing with his like elbow when they're on defense, like he's trying to help, and he's like, I'm like, what are you doing? You ain't got no ants on your arm. He's like, I'm helping him. I'm helping him.
What's your favorite McConaughey role?
Wooderson.
None of them.
Wooderson.
None of
Come
them.
on. Dazed and Confused. Come on. Wooderson.
You think so?
I'm not a
Mike said
McConaughey.
none of
Even
them.
before his,
One thing I love about them
I've
high
never-
school girls, man, I get older and they stay the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
that's good.
I said long ago when he came into acting that somebody needs to hold his head under the water until the bubbles stop coming up.
I like that dude, man.
I can't
he's
stand
like-
him.
Hey, I
I don't
like
know
a good-
why. I don't know why.
Am I reading lines from the cartoon King of the Hill?
Time to Kill, maybe? I
I
think that's mine. I think I gotta go Time to Kill or is True Detective.
If you want-
role.
Time to Kill was very good. Yes, absolutely, great movie.
I
If you
like
want to
the
know who
Commanders
my
with the
favorite
Bulls.
country actor is, my favorite country actor is not Matthew McConaughey. It's that kid that started out playing on Sling Blade and then he played in Tokyo Drift, Fast and the Furious.
Oh yeah,
I can't remember his name.
he was in
I
he
like
was in that
him.
football movie as well.
Yeah, and he also plays in one of the CIS
New Orleans.
CIS
CIS
shows.
New Orleans.
sitcoms, whatever you
he
want
was
to call them.
he was the quarterback in Friday Night Lights, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That boy Frank.
Mm-hmm. I get tickled at my buddy. I'll be cussing at something when we're at the cafe, and this dude can imitate Sling Blade to a T, and you ought not be talking like that. You're just a boy.
Oh, he even did a video. You see that? The McConaughey did a video
What?
to go with his little. Oh yeah.
What?
Here, I'm gonna share that for him. Let's share it.
Oh Lord, you're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
I hold on. I got it. All you got to do is just pull it up. Oh, but it won't work like this, I don't think. Or maybe it will.
Right.
Let's see
No,
if it
I'm
works.
on a laptop, and it will slow me the hell down if
Here,
I
no,
pull it up.
just pull mine in. There's it's in there.
Okay.
October the 19th, 2024. We got a little team called the Georgia Bulldogs coming to Darrell K. Wilkins Memorial Stadium. It's a night game. Ooh, the place is going to be packed. Everyone's going to have time to properly lubricate. Big test of our season. Big test. All right. That's the team to beat. We go out there and handle it and continue to play against.
Yeah. So did y'all hear that? It wasn't the same one. It was one before that.
Yeah.
October the 19th.
Gag me with a maggot. That dude. God.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think he's a decent actor. I think he's a clown whenever he starts talking Longhorns, you know.
but if you want to put true serum in me and say what movie I did somewhat enjoy with Matthew McConaughey was when he was with Reese Witherspoon and he was making them lightning
rom-com?
glass objects on the beach, whatever.
Yeah, that was a
Sweet Home
rom-com.
Alabama, I think.
Oh,
That's kind of a chick flick there, legend.
Where Reese Witherspoon Well, hey, I had to watch it with my mother. Okay.
You do what you got to do.
Fair enough. I still got to take away a point
Yep.
or two for bringing it up. Got to take away a point or two. No, man.
Well,
Come on.
well, hey, I did. To my defense, I never have liked Steel Magnolias, the ultimate
we
chick
know?
flick of all time, dude.
It's awesome. It's like
Dude, that show was even my daddy said that show would not be shown in his house.
That's hilarious. I don't know, Kimberly K. Don't you think he has to lose a point or two for admitting that?
Well, listen, guys.
He couldn't say that he liked Dazed and Confused. He couldn't say that he liked.
I will never lose points. Nope. Mm-mm.
I don't know, man. Sweet Home Alabama.
To my defense, that's the only Matthew McConaughey movie I ever watched in my entire life.
You never watched True Detective season 1?
Time to Kill, none of that stuff.
Dude,
Time to Kill was
one
Jones.
True Detective
Time to
season.
Kill was a Love Jones, boy.
You need to watch True Detective season 1. Like that was the real deal.
You got to watch Dazed and Confused also. If you haven't watched Dazed and Confused, I don't know what's wrong with you. It's got I mean, that's a classic.
Look at Mike. Mike is like, you're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
Yeah,
You landed on,
you're killing me, Smalls. Are y'all trying to afford it?
Nah, dude. I'm
Dude,
serious.
that's the only.
True Detective season 1. You got to watch it.
Okay.
You have to watch it.
Okay, Jason, Big Mike, for y'all to get my points back, I will.
I ain't taking the
I
point,
will
man.
watch Dazed and Confused, and
I'm doing
and
you
what-
a favor. I'm doing you a favor. True Detective season 1 might be one of the best TV shows of all time. It's that good. Just letting you know.
and Matthew McConaughey's in it.
Yeah, him and Woody Harrelson.
All right.
Now I like Woody Harrelson.
There you go.
How could anyone? How would you guys respect me if I didn't give him shit about that?
No, he opened himself
Jason.
up for that one.
It's like
I should have kept my damn mouth shut.
Yeah,
Hey,
like I
hey,
wanted to admit,
hey, you
I
go
don't
through
remember
it.
the movie. Like I wouldn't admit that. Like when you said Reese Witherspoon and all that stuff, like you knew what you were doing.
you knew what you were doing.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
Hey, he
yeah,
went
I
through
knew
his
what I
own
was
fire
doing.
test by his own mouth submission.
Mhm. And if Jason didn't give me hell for it, I would have took points away from him.
Hey,
Because,
see, thank you.
you
That's
know-
what I'm saying. I mean, I lose important points here. You know.
I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Roy Monson.
No, damn. I don't think I ever saw that. I don't think I saw that.
I don't think I've seen it.
And listen, man, like this is coming from a guy that's been on multiple.
Oh my God, King.
I've watched the most. I've watched it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like a box of chocolate.
Roy Munson.
The Roy Munson
You
was
never
pretty.
know which one you're going
I'm
to get.
telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen,
Yeah, when he threw his bowling ball and that hook peg come off.
that's another classic.
Kingpin.
That's another classic right there.
Yeah.
That gal in Kingpin, boy, she made me, oof. How did they make her look that damn ugly? I'll never. I ain't going there on that.
Mike, I thought you were trying to get your point back, bro.
Oof.
Oh, wow.
Oof.
I think we need a little laughter today.
You know, it's going to take a while to get my points back with Jason.
I have a reputation to uphold here. I got to get out of here.
We
I
do.
think.
We did. Yeah, I got it. No, guys, really, I got to jump out of here. I appreciate all
Hey,
of
man,
y'all
you know,
coming on.
No, thanks for having us.
love being on, man. It's always fun. Always fun.
Yeah.
Now, see, you got chicken on you even.
Yeah, chicken's going in.
The Brokeback Bowling is the legend's favorite. All right, I'm out on that one.
Yep.
Appreciate you guys having me in. That's good stuff. Fun. Throw them down. Legend, thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you, Legend.
All right, thanks, Legend. Y'all have a good day.
Your officer and a gentleman.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah.
Sooner.
All right, man.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.